Next we need to study about the Q factor. Okay, Q factor is known as the quality factor. Quality factor is completely different from the power factor, so don't compare a quality factor or power factor, otherwise you'll get confused. Okay, don't mix with the power factor. I told you what is power factor. Power factor is cos phi. Okay, that is completely different. Why I'm telling you this? Because generally student get confused in this point. So what is quality factor? Quality factor is denoted by Q, and we are having particular formula for this quality factor, that is the voltage applied across L or C, means the voltage applied across inductor, or if capacitor is given then we'll take the capacitor, divided by the applied voltage. So voltage applied across inductor would be I into XL, right? According to Ohm's law, V is equal to IR. So voltage across inductor would be inductor resistance, and inductor resistance is how much? XL. Or voltage applied across capacitor would be I into XC, right? Divided by the applied voltage. Applied voltage is how much? That is I multiplied by R, right? So if we'll solve it completely, like we are having Q factor is equal to I into XL. I'm considering for the I into XL divided by I into R. I'm considering this one case for IXL and IR. So for this case, I can be cancelled out with each other. Now the formula will become XL divided by R. Now XL is how much? That is 2 pi FRL. In the Q factor, we'll always take the condition for the resonance. We'll not take the resonant normal frequency. We'll always take the resonant frequency in case of Q factor. Remember this point. It would be R. Okay. Now we know what is the value for the resonant frequency. We just calculated. FR is how much? That is 1 by 2 pi root LC. Correct? So if I'll put this value, after solving it, we'll get a certain value, and after solving it, we'll get 1 by R root L by C. So this is the complete formula. I am not solving. You can put this value and then you'll get the final value for the Q factor. But formula you need to remember, that is 1 by R root L by C. This is the formula for the quality factor. There is one more formula for the quality factor which can be helpful in numerical. That is how much? That is resonant frequency divided by the bandwidth. You don't need to do derivation for this because that is not in your syllabus. Okay, they can give you directly in the numerical. So for that you need to remember this formula only, that is resonant frequency divided by the bandwidth. Resonant frequency is denoted by FR and bandwidth is denoted by WV. Okay, so BW, sorry. Now you should know what is the bandwidth. For bandwidth, there is a range of frequency. You have studied, I think, about the bandwidth. Like suppose the graph is like this. Okay, so we are having different values of frequency at this particular point. Suppose the value is omega 1. Omega 1 is the angular frequency. At this particular point, the omega frequency is omega 2. Okay, this is omega here. On the x-axis will take, and on the y-axis will take current. So at randomly I have selected 2 points. At one point the value of omega frequency would be omega 1, and at another point the value of frequency would be omega 2. So what is bandwidth? I'm telling you about the bandwidth. Bandwidth is how much? That is omega 2 minus omega 1. And what is omega 1? Omega 1 is known as lower half power frequency, and omega 2 is how much? Upper half power frequency. Okay, again don't go into deep because you just need to remember the formula. This quality factor is resonant frequency by bandwidth. Bandwidth is omega 2 minus omega 1. Generally they'll give directly you the value of lower half frequency and upper half frequency. If suppose in any case they don't give the value for omega 1 and omega 2, then write down the formula for omega 1. Omega 1 is how much? Minus R by 2L plus root of R by 2L square plus 1 by LC, and omega 2 is how much? R by 12 root of R by 12 square plus 1 by LC. Okay, there is one more formula related to this. Omega 2 omega 1 is equal to 1 by LC, and omega 2 minus omega 1 is equal to R by L. Basically it is related to another concept. Again, don't go into deep, so just remember this formula. But the main formula is this one only, Q factor and the this bandwidth formula. In any case, like for only there is a 1% chance you didn't need to use this formula. Understood?